यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स ब्रह्मेश्वरः। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. And now we welcome our local Guruji.
One local, one imported.
That's nice formality. Hari Om, everybody. I'm very happy to see that so many of you have come in spite of the rains. A very warm welcome to all of you. We'll start out by paying our respects to the Almighty, the God, the Supreme Reality, the Absolute Truth, Brahman, Parabrahma, God, the Lord, the creative spirit, the creative wisdom, the creative power, energy, whatever you want to call it. We are all here because of it. We are all alive, we all exist because of it. Everything is because of that. So we must give thanks for being here. Now, we also pay our respect to the entire lineage of Gurus who have brought the wisdom, the knowledge of the self down through the ages, over the generations, to pass on this valuable knowledge to all of us, and to all the way down to this day and age, to our Guruji here, Mahamandaleshwar Swami Abhishek Chaitanya Giri Maharaj of
Jagat Guru Sannyas.
Jagat Guru Sannyas Ashram Rishikesh. I'll tell you a little bit about Swamiji. He started out just like you and me. He was going to college at Bombay University, studying psychology and the behavioral sciences. When he first encountered Vedanta through Swami Chinmaya, the founder of Chinmaya Mission. He was very taken up by Vedanta, and so he joined Chinmaya Mission as a youth volunteer with the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. As his interest in Vedanta grew, he decided to plunge into the whole entire study of Vedanta, and he joined the 2-year course at the Chinmaya Mission in Powai, the Sandipani Ashram. 2 years of study there, he emerged as Brahmachari Abhishek Chaitanya. And then he went around teaching people like you and I the principles of Vedanta. That's when a lot of us first met him as a young brahmachari from Chinmaya Mission. After working for a few years with Chinmaya Mission, I think it was in 2011 that he was attending a Vedanta Sammelan in Mumbai, at an ashram in Mumbai, and that's when Mahamandaleshwar Swami Ramanand Giri Maharaj Ji of the Jagat Guru Sannyas Ashram from Rishikesh, he spotted Swami Abhishek Ji, and he saw a lot of potential and humility in Swamiji as a proponent of Vedanta, and he requested Swamiji to become his heir, his Uttaradhikari. Swamiji agreed, and so then Swamiji followed him, left Mumbai and followed him to Rishikesh, but only after a short 2 years, I think, that Swami Ramanand left his physical body, and so in 2013 Swami Abhishek became the Mahamandaleshwar Swami Abhishek Chaitanya Giri Maharaj Ji. And now he goes about all over India and abroad to spread the principles, the teachings of Vedanta. Today he is here to talk to us about the difference between religion and spirituality. We can all see that in today's day and age, there is a lot of polarization going on along religious lines. And religious prejudices and biases are creeping into everybody's life, even yours and mine. So it is very apt that today Swamiji will tell us the difference between spirituality and religion. Welcome, Swamiji. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you very much.
Now, Swamiji will light the lamp. Sattva Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritamgamaya Mrityurma Amritamgamaya Satunath Maharaj ki jai.
Till 7.
Some 15 for question answers.
Okay. ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ॐ वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने ॐ। At the very outset, I must thank Vibhaji and Pujya Swamiji. Am I audible there? Okay. Yeah, I will. It just needs to get warmed up. So thank you, Vibhaji, and thank you all for having come, brave this rain, though it has stopped now. The topic that we have for discussion this evening, though is pertinent, yet is also a little controversial. You know, it's an hornet's nest. To talk about religion and to talk about religion as something that is required immediately leaves you branded as an either as an extremist or a blind follower or something like that, which carries a little negative connotation. On the other hand, then to say that, well, I'm spiritual but not religious also makes you feel something good about yourself, but at the same time, it is a very convenient position that we choose to sit over the fence and not call spade a spade. I'm spiritual makes you feel that you are not very far away from God. Yeah.
And switch on those lights. Close the door and switch on. So are you little louder?
Of course, I will.
You want me to
I-
put the
I can't be speaking very softly for long.
light picker?
Yeah.
The lion in him is going to come out.
You know what? So we choose to take a position which seems to be politically more correct and allows you not to assume any responsibility. So the moment one has said, well, I'm spiritual but not religious, okay, that means you are not answerable for anything. So we do that. I'm not answerable. I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I may go to a temple. I may go to a mosque. But I'm not religious, okay? And therefore don't ask me questions. Don't make me responsible. Don't make me answerable. And therefore, there is the spirit of not assuming responsibility. And wherever we have taken such neutral, what we call as neutral in the secular terms, is really something which is not neutral. It is just convenient. It is just convenient. And therefore, before we go into the details of it, we need to define the words spirituality and also the word religion. When we say there is Vedic religion, Hindu religion, Muslim and Christian and so on and so forth, you have a plethora of religions, different religions, and amongst many, there is something called as one religion, the Hindu or the Vedic religion, that happens to be where the culture in which you're born. Then every person who's born in whichever culture he is entitled to feel proud about what he is born into. Okay? To deprive a person of that pride is to snatch away from him, his self-identity, make him feel inferior in his own eyes. And the moment you have started estimating and feeling that you are somewhere wrong and inferior in life, you have started losing the battle even before you start fighting. You see? Therefore, we need to acknowledge what is good, accept, nurture what is good, reject and abolish what is bad. Even though it may belong to your culture or some other culture, just because you're born into it doesn't mean that it has to be good. When you start appreciating and living this value, then you really have become neutral. You don't become neutral or you don't become impartial just by saying that everything is good, everything is good. Everything is not. There is a choice. Otherwise, there wouldn't exist a choice. Isn't it? There wouldn't exist a choice. The very fact that there is a choice, which means that something is required, something is not, something is good, something is detrimental. And therefore, we always are left with a choice. Then instead of exercising that choice, we keep on saying, well, everything is good, is then to subjugate our intelligence, to subdue our abilities to see and think clearly, to appreciate something as the spade as spade. And therefore, there is a need to see how do you define these words. Okay? Define the words religion. Hey, there are several attempts, people have done enough of work, and presently we live in an age where every Tom, Dick and Harry feels that he is an authority to speak on these topics. I mean, even if he is not an authority or not, whatever, but whatever affects your life, you have the authority to have an opinion about it. It doesn't mean that just because I'm a sannyasi, I have an authority. It just doesn't mean that because I have gone to colleges or schools or some universities where I have read a few books, I'm become an authority. But you are an authority on whatever that affects your life. And you have the right to have an opinion about it. That's perfectly fine. And here we need to see. In general, what is seen as religion are various different cults with certain belief systems. Okay? These are belief systems. A belief necessarily means that something is accepted as a fact but not a proven fact. If it is a proven fact, it wouldn't remain as a belief. A belief means something which is accepted as a fact. An accepted fact can be treated as a fact, but it is only accepted. Okay? I'll give you an example. You know, when we travel, so, you know, on flight or on trains or buses, you have your tickets and, you know, your seat number is there on that ticket and you say that, sir, this is my seat. Don't you do that. This is my berth. This is my seat. So when you leave that plane or the bus and when you pull all your luggage, do you pull that seat out and take along with you since it is yours? Or when you're going to alight from there, disembark from that bus or whatever the flight, you take all your luggage, all your belongings, everything that belongs to you. Now, an hour before you said that this seat belongs to me. Why aren't you pulling it out and taking it with you? So, it means you accepted as well as the other person accepted, though it is not really yours. It is mutually accepted. It is not a fact, but it is only treated as a fact. It belongs to the air company, it belongs to the government if it is the government bus. And so something which is an accepted fact, not a proven fact. There is a difference between an accepted fact and a proven fact. Proven fact doesn't require to be believed in. A proven fact just needs to be verified again, and nothing more. It needs to be verified. Let's say that you are listening to me so far with your eyes closed, okay? And then I say, there is a bouquet of flowers, yellow flowers, in front of me. What do you need to do in this case? Do you need to believe? If you want to see whether what I have spoken is a fact or not, is then that you simply have to open your eyes and verify whether it is yellow or blue or red. Yeah? It only requires verification. An accepted fact cannot be verified. It simply works. A transaction can be carried on. It helps every transaction. And just because it becomes a transactionable value, that also does not make it a fact. It still remains as an accepted fact. There is a difference. This is what we will call as pratibhasika, vyavarika satta. Yeah. A belief system. So therefore you are going to say, we have a God. Okay, you have a God, we have no problem, have your God. We believe in this particular kind of a God. Perfect. Then there is another person who's going to say that I believe in a different kind of a God. Now, since you are human beings, you will have God in human shapes. Ask a goat. How is going to be a God for a goat? Fatter goat, taller goat, longer beard, yeah? Stronger goat who doesn't go to a butchery. Good God. So then there are going to be differences. But when I insist that my belief is the only belief which has the right to survive, not yours, then begins the problem. Treat a belief system as a belief. So most of the religions are nothing more than simply belief systems. Okay? And therefore, different belief systems have now, which have become a part of a culture, of geography, of dressing style, of language, various rituals, customs, gender roles, all these things then are a part which come from that belief system. As much as there is going to be one belief system, there always is going to exist another belief system. Maybe which is a parallel belief system which has got certain things common, or maybe it is going to be altogether different. Altogether different. In India, from most of, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we have a system in which the patriarchal system, where you assume your mother or father's surname. But in Kerala, there is a different system where the child assumes the mother's surname. A different system. So, whenever it is going to be a belief system, it is potentially, essentially going to have something which is a parallel, which may have certain things common with the earlier system, or it may be altogether a different one. Then the insistence on saying that this is the only system, and it cannot be challenged, it should not be challenged, is an outrageous demand. It is an outrageous demand. We have no problems of having a belief system. In fact, most of our vyavahara, most of our transactions are based on certain belief. That you are sitting over here and this fan is not going to collapse on your head is a belief that allows you to sit here and listen, isn't it? That there is not going to be a strike in the city by the time you leave allows you to come and sit here without any anxiety. So the belief allows you to have, not to have belief at all. Hey, this is also not very, what do they call, acceptable thing, because there is belief system embedded. So when you go enter a classroom, a physics classroom, then you have a belief that this fellow is going to teach me physics. He has yet not started. He may go over there and just tell you some rotten joke. But you enter that classroom with a belief that you are going to learn physics. So everywhere, every transaction, and therefore belief is an important aspect of human life, which allows you to have a meaningful transaction with the world. You see, we cannot discard it away. We cannot dispose it away altogether. I'm not saying that it is required. I'm saying that it will be created because it is something that your transactions depend on. Several religions have come and gone. Okay? Several religions have come and gone. Now then, what is the position of what you call as the Sanatana Dharma? Because the word religion and dharma, really, though we have used it colloquially to mean the same thing, but it really does not have the same connotation. As I have explained to you, that religion goes to mean a certain belief system, whereas the word dharma is way far different than just a belief system. There is an element of belief in it. It is a system. It is a system because everything over here is running systematically. The fact that I am speaking, the stimuli is picked up by your auditory faculty, interpreted by your brain, and assimilated at the same time by your mind. Is not this a system? Otherwise, my vocal cords are simply creating sounds, vibrations, but it is being absorbed, understood, cognized. Everything is not this a system. Everything here exists not as chaos, but there is a system. There is a system. You see, it is there. So in dharma, in the word dharma too, you're going to find it is a system. There is something there. Hmm? Now, before going there, the other word of the title is spirituality. Now, ask a person who wants to say that he is spiritual but not religious, what exactly does he mean by that? Ask that person what does he mean by being spiritual but not be. There is a general sense either of guilt or a sense of shame associated in calling yourself religious. I believe in God, but I wouldn't go to temple. It gives you, a little edge over something. I don't. What would you know about that God? A God of your own creation? A God of your own creation? An idea that you are more comfortable with? An idea which gives you a little consolation? And if your God is only a consolation for you, then it's only a crutch that you are going to use for some time and then discard it away. You say, such a God is not of much value. In fact, it is creating more dependence than making you independent. And that God is only creating more dependence than allowing you to have freedom, independence. What does that word spirituality mean? If you ask us in tradition, if this word can be equated with adhyatma, the word adhyatma, then Bhagavan Shri Krishna would say, amongst all the vidyas, I am adhyatma vidya. That what is the pinnacle, that what is the highest, that what shines the most amongst all forms of knowledges. Adhyatma vidya is what shines the most. The person who wants to call himself spiritual may not understand the full implication of this, but he simply wants to say a person who is good, who does not create any nuisance for his neighbors, who is loyal to his wife, who takes care of his children, and then he pays his taxes on time. His spirituality ends there, and does some little donation, goes yearly and makes some donation to an orphanage or some place like that. Is kind to people, cooperative to his neighbors, etc. Here ends his spirituality. Goodness. Here ends his spirituality. Just being a little good to everyone. But Adhyatma also goes way beyond just being called good, either by people around you or being recognized by yourself as being good. It is way far more. This bifurcation of spirituality and dharma, this kind of a split will really cause kind of a schizophrenia, where you are going to say this bifurcation, this is spiritual, this is religious, and let us segregate that. I'm spiritual, but I'm not dharmic. It is not. How can that? Because the word dharma means all those various values which will elevate your life, which will elevate your understanding to have the perspective, the vision of truth. द्विविधो हि वैदिको धर्मः प्रवृत्ति लक्षणः निवृत्ति लक्षणश्च. The dharma has got these two implications. One is meant to allow a person to grow in every possible angle, which means it is abhyudaya. The word is abhyudaya. Its phalam is abhyudaya. Abhyudaya means, udaya means growth, rise. A prefix of abhi is set over there, and that makes it abhyudaya. Okay? Abhi means paritaha, sarvataha, from every angle. There is growth of the person that is expected to take place. As a person, your physical well-being, health, your social well-being, your economic independence, your emotional growth. So there is, when we use the word abhyudaya, it means internal growth, external growth, growth of a person, but at the same time, not just as an individual, but also as a part of the society. The person grows, but there is no growth of the society around him. Then it is like me trying to develop my body only one muscle. Yeah? Hey, and it is abnormal growth. Then this is an abnormal growth. So the growth of a person would mean that not only that he grows, but the society, the world around him also prospers. Because an individual is not an individual in isolation. You are a part of that world. And if the world doesn't benefit by your existence, and you want to be benefited from the world, then this is not growth. Then that is only exploitation. And in that kind of an exploitation, the person becomes small and doesn't grow. So when we are saying the dharma is such a system that allows a person to grow, wherein there is internal growth, prosperity, external prosperity. As an individual there is prosperity, as a society, as the world around him also prospers, then this is abhyudaya. And the system which makes this possible, then we call it as dharma. This is then called as dharma. All those various values, ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, etc., they are the basic foundation. These are the very fundamental values of dharma. Okay? These are the fundamental values of dharma. Their expressions, according to various cultures, geographies, may be different. But as long as the various customs, Languages are able to preserve these basic values. And when your customs, rituals, etc., are based on these values, then those customs, those rituals are meant for the good of individual and of the world. But if you have religion which goes to harm these values, then it may be religion, but it no longer will sit into the definition of dharma. And we want dharma as to be preserved, because this is the only system which you have to live in harmony with life. And as long as you see that you are an individual interacting with the world, and wherever there are two, friction is bound to be there. But then there is one friction which causes cacophony, and there is another friction which creates harmony, a melody, a song, isn't it? Sound necessarily means two objects colliding against each other. Then only there can be a sound. The vocal cords are rubbing against the wind that's coming, and therefore you have sound. Hey, it could be cacophonic, or it could be harmonious, a melody, a song, soothing, pleasing, delighting your ears, heart. You can create that. So a system in which harmony can be created with life, then is dharma. Then is dharma. Anything that goes against dharma is basically against life. Anything that is against dharma then is against every human being, every being. It is in fact against existence. Anything that is against dharma then is truly opposing God, because it is opposing existence. These are the basic values. Now, in today's world, this dharma comes to you. Maybe the same principles are embedded in various religions, cults. Yeah? But the source of dharma then is the Veda. From here comes dharma brahma pratipadakam apaurusheyam pramana-vakyam vedaha. What is called as Veda is this: that which shows what is dharma, and that what shows what is Brahma, and it is in form of words. Vakyam. Vakyam necessarily means words sitting together cogently, coherently, relating with each other, isn't it? When we say, please bring me water. So there are different words, please bring me water, 4 words. And then there is a relationship of words with each other. and at the end of that sentence, you have understood something. Some knowledge takes place, isn't it? So, words have a capacity to generate knowledge. So, Veda is in form of words, but what is it that these words show? What is Dharma and what is Brahma? When you know what is Dharma and abide by those principles of Dharma, what happens to you is that not only that you grow as a person, and growth is not necessarily measured just in terms of money. Please let us set our standards of life very clearly. If you are going to say the growth of a society or growth of a person has to be measured only in terms of money, then we will remain very shoddy, very small. Growth has got several dimensions. Money maybe, or finances may be just one. Is just one. And there are 1,000 facets to you. And you have to grow in all of them in different ways. Isn't it? So a husband has to grow as a husband. He doesn't simply has to be, somebody who makes a lot of money. Making money, okay, bringing a successful husband. That is not a successful husband. You may be a successful businessman. Then what is a successful husband? What would be a successful husband? What would be a successful wife? Is not somebody who makes a lot of money. There are different things and aspects to it, and you have to grow in those. So this is that Dharma is that system which allows you to have growth in these various different ways. Abhyudaya. So Dharma is called as the Abhyudaya Hetu, Abhyudaya Karanam. Okay? Then, knowing Brahma, what will happen? So you have known Parameshwara, what will happen? Why would you even want to know Parameshwara? Why should you want to know? What would happen? Is knowing Parameshwara going to give you more money? Is knowing Parameshwara going to give you a job? Is knowing Parameshwara going to give you more children? Is knowing Parameshwara going to make you more popular, more powerful? What would happen? And why would you want to even know Parameshwara? Why? So, here the answer in short is Ataha. Atha to Brahma Jinyasa. Atha is sadhan chatushthayanantaram. The word Atha is anantaryarthe. Then Ataha is therefore. Therefore means a cause. What is the cause? For what reason do you want to know Parameshwara? And he says, then the Shruti says that he who knows Paramatma, Parameshwara, becomes free from dukkham altogether. Dukkhasya atyantika nivritti he takes place. Atyantika nivritti, not just a temporary nivritti. Okay? Dukkhasya atyantika nivritti. And therefore, if somebody wants to be free from suffering altogether, then for him there is Brahma. Knowing Brahma. But even to know this Parameshwara, you require to have a certain capacity. A capacity to assimilate, to understand. And then this capacity to understand, to discriminate, to assimilate is the capacity of your buddhi, of your intelligence, then that intelligence has to be developed in order to, to understand, to assimilate, to discriminate. And dharma allows this faculty to develop in you. Without a dharmic life, if somebody says that I am spiritual, there is no spirituality without dharma. I don't know, I eat chicken, but what chicken? I'm not talking about people who eat chicken, okay? There may be people, whatever. But I'm just going to put some logic in front of you. Is it necessary that somebody has to die so that you are pleased? Is it necessary that I have to create some pain in order for me to be pleased? You want to please yourself, you want to create happiness, but on the other hand, you are just creating more pain and suffering. You are striving over here, so you are against Swayam Prayojana Hani, you are only doing. So Dharma is here. Look at that. I am harming my own progress, hampering my own growth. There is no spirituality without dharma. And therefore, if somebody wants to say that I am spiritual but not dharmic, then that person either is mad or an hypocrite. He is an hypocrite, because what would be spirituality without a life of ahimsa, satyam, etc.? Because for him, Adhyatma does not mean that knowing Atma is Brahman. For him, his Adhyatma is living a life of values. Now, without those values, without these basic values, how are you going to do? And when these values, how these values should be practiced according to the time, according to the position. Now, let us understand certain things over here. Let us say we all appreciate the value of ahimsa, right? We all appreciate that you don't want to be harmed by anyone. True? At least you appreciate this part, that I don't want to be harmed by anyone. So you appreciate ahimsa. But how about you not harming anyone? And please understand, a value is a value when appreciated by both in transaction. One of the greatest teachers of recent times is Swami Dayanandji. So he put it very beautifully. Once he said that there is a 1 rupee note. Let's call it why 1 rupee, 100 rupees note. And then you also recognize it as 100 rupees. This piece of paper is worth 100 rupees. I recognize this as worth 100 rupees, and therefore now this piece of paper becomes transactionable. So, that value of 100 rupees is when recognized by both the parties, only then that value becomes transactional value. Till then it does not have any transactional value. I'm going to call it 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, but you don't. Would it become of any value? The other day I was there in the ashram, and we were looking at some, old books. And somebody had kept that old 500 rupees over there as a bookmark. And then we found that, 500, what 500? This did not even work as bookmark then, not even as 500 now. Huh? Is it worth 500? Is that 500 rupees? Would you even call it? No, nothing. Just Gandhiji printed on that paper. Nothing more than that. So a value has to be appreciated by both the parties. And if it is not appreciated by both, it cannot be followed, it cannot be practiced. So also I say that I am going to live a life of ahimsa. Then you allow what others to harm you all the time? You have to stop that harm somewhere. You are going to stop it not because you want to harm that person. You want to stop it because you want to practice this. The intention is of stopping is not to harm him, but the intention behind it is so that you are not harmed, and there is this value which you can now practice. You see, therefore ahimsa becomes ahimsa only when it is appreciated by both the parties. And how it should be practiced, at what stage, who should practice it, how, is altogether different. The meaning of ahimsa for a learned teacher in the society is different. The meaning of ahimsa for a soldier on the battlefield is different. If he is not going to combat and fight that battle, then this soldier who is saying that he is practicing ahimsa, he is responsible for the death of several civilians or several other people who are unarmed. He is responsible for that massive himsa. And therefore the meaning of ahimsa for him is still different. The meaning of ahimsa for a sannyasi is different. The meaning of ahimsa for a kshatriya warrior is different. But these roles that we play have to be defined. They have to be very clear to you. At various stages, the ahimsa of a grihastha is different than the ahimsa of a sannyasi. The ahimsa of a Brahmin is different than the ahimsa of a Kshatriya. You see, just a simple value, but the way its implication is there, where is. And all of them are resting on the same value of dharma. Now if somebody comes again and again only to say that I'm religious but not, I'm spiritual but not religious, what do you mean? What exactly do you mean? That does not mean anything more than that person not wanting to be very clear and have his own judgment. Another thing that we come across in Bhashyam, Gita Bhashyam in the very beginning, is that Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that the deterioration of dharma or the harm that is caused to the dharma comes not from people who are practicing a different dharma or religion. He says it is the same people who are practicing the dharma when they refuse to follow that dharma. When they refuse to follow those values, then and why does it happen? It is because of their vested interests. Swartha, because of that selfishness and desires, unbridled desires, ambitions. And that is why even religions are made into their weapons of accumulating more and more wealth and more power by these people. Well, over here, this concept, the what is called as dharma, does it really exist everywhere in every religion? As long as that religion is going to be in tandem with the principles of dharma, till then that religion has the capacity to bestow benediction on humanity. The moment it diversifies, the moment it gets derailed, it may be a religion, it may be respected, it may be, you know, it may have several followers everywhere, but when it no longer stands with dharma, then it has become detrimental. Just as the cancer cells of our body are the cells of our own body, but they are going against the body itself. They are hell bent on destroying the body. It is the same thing. And therefore, to say that, well, this religion, everything is one and the same, is also not true. You really have to see, you really have to verify and find out. But what we can understand from here is that to constantly bifurcate and say that there is a division between religion and spirituality, there is a division between dharma and spirituality, is not true. Dharma and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. Dvividho hi vaidiko dharma. Just as a coin will have two sides, so also Adhyatma Vidya and Dharma are two sides. Without Dharma, without having led a dharmic life, you will not have access to what is Brahma. Okay? If you really truly want to see what is that is shown by the Upanishad, we will have to live those values of Dharma. In the Ishavasya Upanishad, there is a very beautiful mantra, and this is one of my favorite mantras also. And this mantra says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavranu satya dharmaya drishtaya. Huh? It says that the truth, Paramatma, Parameshwara, your face is covered with a golden lid. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham. Apihitam mukham. Apihitam mukham, right? Apihitam mukham. Mukham, your face is covered by this golden lid. And something, gold means something which is going to allure you, something that you can hanker for, something which seems to dazzle you. Glare your eyes. Satyasya pihitam mukham. Then he says, Tattvam pushan apavrano. Hey Pushan, hey Paramatma, Poshak, nourisher of this world and life, apavrano. Remove this. Hey, how can you say apavrano? Commanding? Look at that confidence. Satya dharmaya drishtaya. I am Satya dharma. Paramatma is asking question, why should I remove this golden lid? The veil, the curtain in front of you. Keep looking at it. He says, remove it. Because why? I want to see. You may want to see. Who are you? Aham Satya Dharma asi. I am Satya Dharma. And for me, Satya Dharmaya Drishtaya. For me, who is Satya Dharma, I want to see and therefore remove that. The one who has lived that life of Dharma, Satya, Ahimsa, etc., for him, now he has the confidence even to tell Paramatma, remove this veil of fire. Let me see you. Niravaranam. Without any veil, without any curtain. And therefore, without dharma, Parameshwara is inaccessible. Those who think that they can have whatever realization or whatsoever the enlightenment in their language without living a life of dharma, they are only living in their own what do they say? Fancies. Impossible. Another thing, no God ever commands you. Why should a God command you to go kill anyone? Go destroy anyone. If somebody is saying that this is what God wants you to do, if God wants to do, let him do himself. He is self-sufficient. Why should he make me an agent? Why should that God make me an agent of that? He wants means he has a desire. If he has a desire, let him do. Then that God says, well, I have a desire, but you fulfill my desire, my ambition, and I am going to give you a reward. Oh, here comes your market. Hey, you're God or a businessman, sir? What are you? And at the same time, if you don't do, I will punish. Hey, what are these whims and fancies? And to live a life of dharma, the Purva Mimamsakas have said there is no need even to bring Ishvara into the picture. You may not even we have no problems at all if somebody doesn't believe in God but is living a life of dharma. A proper dharma, doing what he is supposed to do, nitya naimittik karma, etc. Everything is happening. Then that person is there. Wonderful. And therefore Satya Dharmaya Drishtaya. Hence those people who want to take a politically correct stand, and it is not even politically correct, it is just lazy stand, a not committed stand, because you cannot stand for anything. And I remember Swami Tejavananda's one line which is etched on my heart. Swamiji said, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. Aajao Deepu, baitho. If you can't stand for something, if there is no principle, kuch usool nahi hai, if there is no principle for you to live your life, you are vulnerable to fall for everything. You are the weakest. And therefore, to have these principles in life is very important. Some principle of dharma has to be there. These embedded, this system, then has come to us, the system of Vedas, in whatever ansha, or in whatever little fraction that comes to you today as Hinduism. Well, Hinduism is not a word from the Vedas. No Gita, Brahma Sutra ever calls Hinduism. Where the British, whatever, now it has come to you. Show me any other religion or any other system which acknowledges Veda as the fountainhead for dharma. It is this. And therefore, whatever you have today, even as Hinduism, is truly coming from the Veda. Whatever little, and why am I saying, well, this is not really belonging to Hinduism, it has come, whatever little, स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात. Even if there is little dharma in your life, it will protect you from great fear. It will protect you. It will. A person who has lived even this much of, for the principle of dharma, he will have a confidence and respect for himself. And if we don't respect our own existence, no one has got any right to claim respect from anyone. You have to respect your own existence. How would you do that without having lived for the principle of dharma? There, it will give you an immense confidence. That will be your strength. And this is your gain. This is your profit. Profit is not always in terms of money. Profit, a gain is never always in terms of money. Is not that true? You work so hard, and then you make money, and then you go for a rock concert, and then those tickets, those passes are like a bomb. You throw that money, what did you gain? What did you gain by throwing that money? I gained something. I delighted myself. And therefore you know it, that over here, even in your daily transactions, your gain is not always in terms of money. And therefore just stop using money as the only standard to find what have you gained. And it, dharma is something which gives you this confidence. Now I'm not just talking about dharma giving you the confidence and giving you the self-respect which you have earned, not because others are giving you respect. What others have given you, they are entitled to take it away. If you say people respect me and hence I am a respected person, then people can, people will hold, what do they say, your strings to control you. They will withdraw anytime. But this is a respect which you have earned for yourself. No one in this world will ever have that power to do anything, take it away from you. Then your respect is not because somebody respects me. You respect your own existence, your own being. Dharma. Besides that, what is most important about it is that it makes you, prepares you to see Parameshwara. Living that life of a dharma allows you to have that maturity, prepares you to see Parameshwara. And therefore, anyone who says over here that, no sir, I am not religious, I am spiritual, this is all just, sometimes I feel that it is a joke, or this person just speaks nonsense. There is nothing like it. Assume your responsibility. If this is your religion and if you find that there is something which you don't agree to, reform it, change it. You have every right. Do it. But please know that the values on which any religion is standing, this is what needs to be protected. And it can be protected only when it is put in our own lives. It cannot be protected, or no one else can harm it. When we are able to create a society like this in which these values are respected, then now this society also becomes conducive in creating human beings which are not ordinary. These are the human beings who are evolved. Then we are living as enlightened people. And this is the vision of the rishis of the Vedas, to live. And that's why they say Sahana avavatu sahana, sarve bhavantu sukhinah, etc. May all of us, and in that all, nothing is excluded. It is not communal. Is it communal? When we say that sarve bhavantu sukhinah, it is not said that only Hindus should become sukhi. That survey includes everyone, whatever belief system you may have. But where in the world, show me another religious prayer like this, which is Sarve Bhavantu, which is Sahana Bhavatu. Show us something like that. Then therefore, not to have confidence and pride in what you are born with, rather to say that this is what do they say? Regressive. And then only to appreciate, some azan sounds very nice, is very progressive. In what way is that progressive? In what way is that progressive? What does it bestow on all? If you want to say that, we have no problem, do it. But then if you are going to say that this is a fact and has to be accepted by all, by hook or crook, then we have a problem. As long as it is your belief system, you keep it. If you want to call it a fact, please do that. But if you want to say that everybody should call it a fact, then comes a problem. So, sir, we have a problem which needs to be tackled. And it will be tackled only when a nirnaya means a decision. When I say this is a cow, it means that it is not a buffalo. It means it is not a camel. It is a nirnaya. Somewhere you'll have to do that nirnaya. Okay? And therefore this kind of a split where you say, well, we are religious, what do they call, spiritual but not religious. We will have to resolve that. As a Hindu society, as a Hindu person, you'll have to resolve it. Not to carry on the same things because it sounds nice, and everything that sounds nice, not necessarily it is good. Not necessarily it is good. So we have to be very careful. Think, verify, and then accept. This is the way Viveka works. And then to walk your path with the vision of Viveka is your true glory. Okay. Creating this split is just making the present Indian society more crippled and more intellectually crippled. All right, so here I end this particular discussion. If you have few questions, something to ask, you have a little while. It could be related to this, it could be related to main Vedanta, whatever.
Swamiji, I feel that English is a very poor language. Actually, it is not able to translate dharma. Dharma is not religion. If you go by the true sense, it is something much more than religion. Religion restricts us to.
That's okay, but today it comes to us as Hindu religion. Where else are these values of Vedic Dharma are you going to find? Where else?
Because now when we start saying that Raj Dharma, or like you said, soldier's Dharma, or Pitaka Dharma, whosoever Dharma, it is a way of life. So that actually reflects our Hindu Dharma.
That's fine. But at least
Religion
let
is
us.
a very constricted.
But let us, now that we have been put into that pigeonhole by calling that you are a Hindu, might as well let us embrace it and go ahead and say that yes, we are proud about it.
Yes.
Rather than saying that we are not. It's fine. No, and then the debates which go about saying that, well, this word Hinduism is coming from, Persia. Whatever, now it has come, it has come. Let's go ahead. Because it is the only source, only religion or only way, a system which finds its roots in Vedas, none other.
Absolutely.
Here.
What happened? Anything?
Yes, I have a problem, and the problem is actually language. And what it means is, like you said, the transaction will only be of value. Each one of us recognizes this as a whatever 100 rupee note. When somebody asks a question, are you religious? The definition of that religious word is very personal. The person who's saying I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, may mean that I'm not interested in doing puja, arti, following all the rituals. When my father dies, I'm not interested in doing shraddh. When I have a boy, I may not be interested in doing his Uttanayam because all the tamasha that goes with it, I'm not interested. Maybe that's what it means. That I'm not interested in all that karma kand that goes with it. The punya, the papa, and therefore to go to Kashi, Varanasi, whatever. Even to immerse the ashes, you have to go to Rishikesh or I'm not interested. I can just throw it in the sea. Maybe that's what the person means. So I'm interested in the higher learning, but I'm not interested in this part of religion as I understand it. If you are asking that question, you have a different definition in mind, which is, are you dharmic? And maybe if you had asked the question in a different way, or maybe if you had defined the word religiousness, the answer would have been clearer. So we talk about things without defining what we mean or what we are asking, and then we go this way. The person who is answering based on an assumption which is not followed by you. And I think most of the dialogue in society takes place in this manner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to say. And that's why there is confusion at all times. A husband talking to wife, a wife talking to a husband. Pretty soon they don't talk to each other. Because there is no clarity. It's popular language. As he said, limited hai yaar. I'm sorry, but that's what I feel.
No, I shouldn't be sorry. there is no problem in a person wanting to learn more than to follow certain rituals, etc. But when you're a part, not just of a society, but when you understand that even these rituals, etc., the design behind it, the purpose behind it, is to make you available to that learning more. Now, let us see, one doesn't understand that I like and I don't like. These are the only two parameters, or these are the only two ends between which I keep shuttling myself. I like, I don't like. This is our language. We don't understand that we are the victims of our own likes and dislikes. Hey, you see this? Now, this is what we call as the raga dvesha. Then, when it is told this is your nitya naimittika karma, this is what you should do. The question is not asked whether you like it or you don't like it. Even if you don't like it, might as well do it. And by doing that, what have you done? What have you achieved? Is the grip of your dislike is no longer able to control your life. And therefore, when you follow those things too, it has a purpose, it has a value. There is certain value, and it is wonderful that a person wants to know Parmeshwara, whatever is higher, the truth. It is there. But then that person may be a victim of his own likes and dislikes, and how is he supposed to overcome that? How would you overcome that? Because these likes and dislikes will only become an impediment in you seeing the truth. The truth is open over here, but where are we able to see? Sir, huh? Yeah. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, it is open. Whatever it is Parmeshwara. कहाँ दिख रहा है? कहाँ दिख रहा है? दिख तो यही रहा है कि ये स्त्री, ये पुरुष, ये बालक, ये ऐसा, इसके पास पैसा, उसके पास नहीं है, इसके पास से कैसे निकालूं, इसके पास से क्या करूं? कहाँ कहाँ उसके ऊपर उठ रहे हैं? So the vision is then blocked by raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. And in order to overcome that only, we have the system of dharma.
Swamiji, actually spirituality is a very elitist word. 98% or maybe 99% of the Hindus, they don't know what is spirituality. They just say that we are Hindus. If somebody has to write what is your religion, nobody will ever write spiritual. He will write
so
Hindu,
true.
or he may even write atheist, but he will not write spiritual. So
I have seen some strange things, going by the name of spirituality. I mean, if somebody feels happy with it, please do it. Whether you put lights and candles and agarbattis everywhere, whatever you want to do it. But then, even, that bhoot, pret, everything goes under the name of spirituality. Some worshipping some unicorn. You've seen that. I go, no problem, you do it. Do it. But then this is not what we will call as spirituality.
I don't know what is spirituality. I only know something is dharma.
Dharma.
Yeah.
There is
and
dharma.
Within that dharma, like he said, you may believe in something, you may not believe. You may believe in Vedas and not in ritual. Somebody may believe in ritual and may not know about the Vedas. But he still is dharma. So whoever is doing his duty is doing his dharma. But spirituality is something which is a word very fancy kind of.
Yeah. But then somebody who says that really, no, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Then that person really does not want to take a stand. He does not take a stand.
Actually, the word religion itself means re-ligare.
Join.
That is not joining, it is going back to your source.
Oh, yes.
And our source is Brahman. So spiritual Adhyatma Vidya is for that and nothing else.
To understand yourself.
But it is, people think that religion is only ritualism. So instead of moving ahead, they are going back.
Another thing that what you said is right is, people are, somebody is here and then we are trying to talk. We're just running parallel, meeting nowhere. Which is also true, which is so much true. So more than just wanting to convince others of what you are saying, in these debates there should be a need, a properly monitored, to make them understand what the other person is saying.
And when they say
Then
ritual,
more than wanting to convince the other what you are saying, then I want to understand what exactly you are saying. Now when this thing happens, you are arriving on a common platform, on the same ground. Till then we are both standing somewhere and firing. I don't know who is saying what. There are people from two different planets. It's like that.
first of all, the meaning of ritual also they don't know. They don't want to do ritual, but every day, every year they will celebrate birthday. What is ritual? Means that is done every day. Even eating food is a ritual, laying the table is ritual. But we have some different concept about our Vedas, our religion. We don't
We are
understand.
made to feel inferior about it.
As you said, there is lot behind one ritual that no one wants to understand. But they want to understand something higher. But if they don't understand KG, how will they will go to the secondary school?
Which
That
is
is the
true.
problem. That is the problem.
But most rituals are sold as business preparations.
That is the sorry state of our Brahmins and whatever they are made. But if we
So
are
that
with
is
the
why
right
the
guide,
ritual has got a bad
if
name.
you are with the right
True.
guide, then you will
Yes.
come to.
See, that is also the case. It is not that it is altogether not. Those people who are supposed to be the custodians,
Yeah, they have misused.
they have misused this. And therefore,
Authority is
Shankaracharya
misused.
says that these are the people because of whom the dharma has suffered.
Suffered.
The glani is there because of them only.
They are educated, but they are misguiding others.
And not allowed the other people to learn it even.
That now at least it is there.
Shankaracharya had said this. You said Shankaracharya had said that these people are the glani.
Yeah, this is because of the people who are supposed to do it. They are the custodians of it.
Correct.
And they themselves are bringing the harm.
Shankaracharya had said this.
Very clearly in the Gita, in the very inaugural passage of Gita Bhashyam.
That was
Acharya
1400
is
years
one who
back.
is acharati.
That's-
Achar ko achar
Yeah,
karne
yeah.
wala.
But we deprive the other people also from learning the shlokas and the classes, the varnas. That is a drawback.
Now it is not much. You have
But it
many
became a
modern
drawback.
teachers are.
It became a drawback.
Swamiji, one aspect I was trying to understand, you sort of alluded to the Azan and sort of the secular debate or what is going on. There is a political face of every religion, whether it's political Islam, whether it's the church, the Vatican, or here which is much more diversified. In the Indian context, it's much more diversified because it's too large probably. As a religion, it's beyond the control of